You weren't allowed to join the witch hunters for your bravery. You were chosen because if you died, no one would miss you. But if you survived every rank, you would become something both demons and humans feared. You were 14 when they first decide your life belongs to the Order. Not because you were special, not because you were noble, because your village burned, your parents are gone, and you are still alive after seeing something that should have broken your mind. The old hunters call that useful. You do not join a witch hunter order, you are absorbed by it. At first, the fortress looks holy, stone walls, iron bells, rows of black cloaked figures moving like shadows through torchlight. But the smell tells the truth. Wax, wet leather, blood, burned herbs, smoke from chambers where things scream long after midnight. The Order does not ask what you want, it asks what you saw, how many eyes it had, what language it whispered, whether the dead rose before or after the chanting began. That is when you learn the first rule. In this world, evil is real, and the men hunting it are not much softer. Rank 1, the Ash Boy. This is the lowest thing you can be, not even a true hunter, just a survivor in black rags, sleeping with the other half-broken children under the barracks stairs. Your job is filth. You scrub dried blood from chapel stones. You clean execution cages. You carry ash from the furnace pits where cursed bones are burned until dawn. You are forbidden from touching real weapons, forbidden from entering ritual chambers, forbidden from speaking during interrogations. But you hear everything. You hear that some witches curse crops, some rot babies in the womb, some call storms, and some are not witches at all. Just frightened women, hated widows, or unlucky healers dragged in by terrified towns. At this level, truth does not matter much. Fear does. You begin to understand what the Order really is. It does not just kill monsters, it controls panic. You survive on stale bread, beatings, and the hope that one day they will hand you a blade instead of a broom. Most Ash Boys die first. Fever, training accidents, things in the cellar. You survive. Rank 2, Candle Initiate. Now they shave your head, brand the Order's mark into your shoulder, and give you your first weapon. Not a sword, but a candle. A black tallow candle mixed with grave salt and blessed wax. Your task is to stand motionless during night vigils in cursed places and watch the flame. If it bends without wind, something unseen is near. If it goes green, run. If it goes out, pray someone higher ranked is still alive. This is where fear becomes routine. You are sent into abandoned mills, plague houses, hollow chapels, and forests where people say the trees whisper names. You are not expected to fight. You are expected to witness. To remain calm when walls knock from the inside. To write what you saw without shaking. You learn symbols, burial law, sin catalogs, the difference between possession, poisoning, madness, and fraud. You also learn that the Order is obsessed with rank because rank decides who is allowed to doubt. At your level, you may record horror. You may not interpret it. That is for your betters. Rank 3, Hound of the Order. This is the first time you are allowed out among ordinary people with a weapon on your hip. You receive a short iron saber, a gray riding cloak, and a warrant seal. Villagers no longer look through you. Now they flinch when you enter. Your work becomes ugly in a new way. You chase rumors. A child speaking in an old woman's voice. Milk turning black. A body found nailed upside down to a barn. Midwives accused by drunken men. A priest hiding books under the altar. A noble house quietly paying the Order to make a scandal disappear. You are a hound because you sniff out trouble before the true hunters arrive. Sometimes you find demons. Sometimes you find lies. Sometimes you find starving people pretending to curse livestock because fear is the only power left to them. And now you face the second rule. The Order hunts evil, yes, but it also hunts disorder. Your job is no longer to survive terror. It is to spread controlled terror in the Order's name. Rank 4, Iron Examiner. By now you have seen enough corpses to stop counting them. The Order promotes you not for bravery, but for discipline. You no longer run messages or guard doors. You investigate. You enter homes after the accusation. You inspect symbols cut under floorboards. You test blood, herbs, hair, bone fragments. You question neighbors separately and compare contradictions. You know which prayers are genuine and which are rehearsed. You know how a liar breathes. This is the rank where innocence becomes dangerous. A crying mother can fool a recruit, not you. A calm priest can hide rot behind scripture, not from you. But there is a cost. The more skilled you become, the less human the world looks. Everyone starts to seem guilty of something. Vanity, envy, hidden appetite, private blasphemy. You stop asking whether darkness exists. You ask how deep it goes. By now, you also know the Order keeps secrets from its own men. Certain case files vanish. Certain names are never spoken in the fortress. Certain highborn families are never investigated twice. Even inside the Order, rank protects sin. Rank 5, Silver Hunter. This is the level every boy dreamed of when he first entered the fortress. Now you carry the long silvered blade. Now you wear the full black coat with iron clasps. Now peasants kneel. Guards step aside. Mayors lie politely. Priests smile too hard. You are what the world imagines when it thinks of a witch hunter. And for the first time, you truly kill. Not suspects. Not prisoners after judgment. Things. A woman split open by a parasite spirit. A smiling corpse moving without joints. A thing in a well that mimics children crying for help. A scholar whose shadow strangles people before dawn. An actual witch, old and brilliant, who burns 3 men alive with a whisper before you put steel through her throat. This rank brings glory, songs, scars, and authority. It also brings corruption. You learn how easy it is to enjoy being feared, how easy it is to believe your violence is holy because someone higher signed the order, how easy it is to stop seeing civilians as people and start seeing them as liabilities, witnesses, bait. At silver rank, you are respected. At silver rank, you are already beginning to rot. Rank 6, Black Captain. You no longer hunt alone. Now you command. A squad of riders, a clerk, a confessor, a torch team, sometimes an alchemist, sometimes shackled prisoners forced to walk ahead through cursed ground. You choose routes, set traps, approve interrogations, decide whether a town is quarantined, searched, purged, or burned. This is where the scale changes. Below this rank, one monster could ruin your life. At this rank, one decision can ruin a province. You start to see how the Order really governs the kingdom from the shadows. Kings make speeches, bishops preach, but when rumors of witchcraft spread, it is your seal that shuts gates, empties streets, and decides who leaves alive. You also inherit the worst truth of all. Sometimes the Order creates the silence it later claims to save. A town saw too much? Burn the records. A noble son took part in forbidden rites? Execute the servants. A failed operation unleashed something worse? Blame a coven and bury the survivors. Now you are powerful enough to notice the machine, not powerful enough to stop it. Rank 7, Inquisitor of Embers. At this level, you stop belonging to the battlefield. You belong to judgment. You sit in high chambers. You read sealed confessions. You authorize torture. You decide whether a suspect is merely corrupted, fully damned, or politically inconvenient. You wear red wax on your gloves to mark authority over death by fire. This is the rank most feared by everyone, villagers, nobles, even lower hunters, because a silver hunter might kill you in rage. An inquisitor kills you with paperwork. You begin interrogating not just suspects, but your own order. Captains accused of concealment, clerics accused of dealing in relics, hunters accused of taking payment to ignore heresy. Here you discover something fatal. The Order has been lying for generations. Some relics they call cursed are actually useful. Some witches they executed could have taught them how to fight worse things. Some outbreaks were not accidents, but experiments. And the oldest records suggest the Order itself was founded using forbidden rites stolen from the enemy. The line between witch hunter and witch was never clean. It was just written by the winner. Rank 8, Lord Inquisitor. Very few reach this point sane. Now you advise thrones. You can overrule bishops. You can condemn entire bloodlines. Your signature sends armies moving. You no longer ask whether a person is guilty. You ask whether their death stabilizes the realm. And that changes you more than any monster ever could. Young recruits still imagine the top rank means purity, wisdom, victory. But the top of the Order is not where evil ends. It is where evil becomes administrative. Every report on your desk is a choice between horrors. Burn one city to stop a spreading cult, or let 5 cities fall. Execute a prince touched by darkness, or risk civil war. Destroy a library of forbidden knowledge, or preserve it and trust that future men will be stronger than you were. This rank strips away the fantasy. There is no clean war against darkness, only thresholds, lines you cross and promise yourself were necessary. And one night, deep in the sealed archive beneath the fortress, you finally learn why the highest office is never held for long. There is no Grand Master above you. There is only the chamber below. The founders did not defeat the first great evil. They bound it, fed it, studied it, built the Order around it. Every generation, the highest-ranking witch hunter must descend, alone, into the chamber and decide: kill the thing and risk unleashing something worse, or continue the lie that has protected the realm for centuries. That is the final promotion. Not power, burden. Rank 9, Keeper of the Chamber. No songs speak of this rank because no one is supposed to know it exists. If you accept, your public name dies. Another Lord Inquisitor is announced above ground. The Order continues. The kingdom sleeps, and you descend into the dark beneath the dark. There, chained beneath iron scripture and circles of old blood, is the secret engine of everything. The first captured witch, or the first saint corrupted, or something older than both. It speaks in a voice you recognize, because by now it sounds like every rank you ever served. The fear of the Ash Boy, the obedience of the Initiate, the certainty of the Hound, the suspicion of the Examiner, the pride of the Silver Hunter, the cold strategy of the Captain, the cruelty of the Inquisitor, the compromise of the Lord. You spent your whole life climbing above monsters, and at the top, you find the Order made itself by learning from one. That is what it feels like to rise through every rank of a witch hunter order. At the bottom, you think rank means survival. Then you think it means respect. Then authority. Then righteousness. Then sacrifice. But at the very top, you learn the truth. Every promotion was just one more step away from innocence. You entered as a child who wanted monsters gone. You rose by becoming harder than the things you hunted. And when the final torch goes out in the chamber below, you realize the Order was never testing whether you could kill evil. It was testing whether you could carry it. End screen line. To rise through every rank of a witch hunter order, you don't stay pure. You just become useful longer than everyone else.